Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us this morning. This is Matt Tour, Marketing Specialist on the annuity side at Insurance Agency Marketing Services. We're glad to be joined this morning by Andrew Gabriel, internal wholesaler from EquiTrust. He's going to be getting started here shortly, going over some of the benefits EquiTrust has on both stretch IRA contracts and also on Roth conversions. He'll be going over some details on that. We're going to go ahead and get started. On my end, by kind of going over some of the benefits of working through IMS, we offer some additional features by working through our group. We have our new producer builders. It's a great way for you to earn some additional incentives based on production in the first 180 days of being contracted through IMS. We have levels starting at 100,000, 250 up to a million. You can qualify for different items, including cash, iPads, a Boss radio program. We also have different seminar systems, a lot of really good information you can qualify for, a lot of good stuff you can utilize in the field to help expand your business by doing production through IMS in the first 6 months, and a great way for you to get a jump on some of our programs we offer for trips and other different incentives based on being a new producer with insurance agency marketing. So really a good way to jumpstart your program there as a newly licensed agent through IMS, and a great way to get started here through our group. We also have a referral program. You refer agents to IMS, you'll get a $50 bonus when they get contracted. You'll also receive an override on their production. We have a 20 basis point override based on indexed annuities. You'll get a 10 basis point override based on MIGAs. We also have overrides based on life insurance, be it target premium or single premium life. You can get different overrides based on that. We also have a marketing reimbursement program. We reimburse half of your costs. So if you spend $2,000 to do a seminar, we'll reimburse up to $1,000 of that based on your balance in your marketing reimbursement bank account. So $200 goes in for single premium life for every $100,000 of premium. $100 goes in for every $100,000 of indexed annuity premium in your account. So if you did $1 million of indexed premium, you would have $1,000 in your marketing reimbursement account. So we help cover some of your costs for marketing. I know the costs are always going up, unfortunately, and we've seen a drastic increase of costs for mailings, getting involved with seminars. Everything just tends to get more expensive, and we are glad to help you out with some of those costs based on your business, and definitely helps you save money on your expenditures, and we help with those overall costs that come down to your situation there. So we also have a great back office support team here at IMS. We have a great new business team. They'll take your business from when it comes in, go through all the suitability, get onto the home office, go through all the the underwriting on that side, follow all the way through till it gets issued. We can help with chasing money down. Maybe you're doing transfers from 3 different companies. We'll help you get those monies sent in from the other carriers into the company you're doing business with. If it's EquiTrust, we'll help you get money into EquiTrust and get that policy issued as quickly as possible. We don't get paid till you get paid, so we all have a vested interest in getting these cases through as quickly as possible. We also have a great creative team that can help you put together different advertising. We also get a great contracting team. We use a paperless contracting system. You get contracted with one carrier. You can go ahead and utilize the information based on what you put in for that one to get licensed with other companies at the same time or down the road. We use Assurance Bay as the contracting platform we utilize here at IMS. Makes things a lot easier for you in the field and being able to market to clients and be able to get multiple carriers contracted at one time. Of course, you still have to do product training and do all the other additional materials you need to complete in order to make the sale, but we definitely help you with that process by utilizing that platform there. We have a great website. It's been up and running for over 20 years now. We have a lot of different information you can pull on that website. We've got a great sales library. You can get some really good information you can use with clients. You can, get some marketing information off that for sending information to clients, doing mailings, whatever it might be you want to do. Of course, we have our current annuity grid on the site at all times, has all the current rates. You can look up lots of information. Maybe you have a 75-year-old in Pennsylvania, you're looking for the best 5-year MIGA rate. You can pull that up. Maybe you're looking for the best S&P annual point-to-point cap for an 80-year-old, looking at a 10-year contract. You can get that pulled up on our site. We use Annuity Rate Watch, really good platform that we have available to you. You can look up rates for annuities. You can look up income payouts. We can do back testing on different index strategies with real numbers. You can see how they've done the last, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years based on real information, and be able to find the best match for your client based on those details. So really good place to go. It's www.imsinc.com. You do have to have a username and password to utilize the site. It takes about 24 hours to get set up on it. You get your information inputted, we get it approved, and you'll be up and running within a day to use that website as often as you would like. So I know we have agents that get on there all the time and really get a good use out of that site. We also are utilizing e-applications more and more now. This e-app system is available on our website. It's Luma/Firelight is what we use on the annuity side. On the life side has iPipeline and Sunfire. You can utilize those for the life insurance side, but we see about 60% of our business coming in now on e-applications. So really helps with getting cases through in a timely fashion. You're not missing forms, you're not missing information on the app. Everything has to be 100% complete before it goes to that signing phase. And it really has sped up the process for getting applications through the system, especially when applications now are 50 pages as opposed to 3 or 4. It's just a huge difference on the amount of paper that has to come in to get applications through the system here. So definitely keep that in mind. As I mentioned, we have a great creative team. They can help you with website development. They can help you out with redoing your logo. Maybe you want to change your company colors. Maybe you want to do some social media campaigns or do some email blasts. They can help you out with all that information. I know we've got some really good turnkey systems that we have for doing seminars. Maybe you want to do, an email blast campaign. We can get to the right group that does that. We can really help you maximize your advertising dollars and get the biggest return for your investment. So definitely a great place to go is our creative team. If you're doing business through IMS, we do take care of part of those costs that come up with some advertising. So we can help you with some of those expenses, and it definitely increases what you can do on your side. So definitely keep that in mind. We also have our IMS Wealth Management side of IMS. It's a Series 65 side of the business. Of course, you have to have your securities license. Is a Series 65. We have a great group of individuals that work on that side of the market. It's always good to have both sides covered, both the security side and the insurance side. That way you're not passing the road and end up losing that client to another group because they can do more for them than you can. And having, both sides of that highway covered is really good to have, especially as your clients' needs change. Maybe they're more aggressive in their younger years. They want to have more money in the market. But as they get older, they want to transition some of those dollars into the insurance side via annuities, single premium life, whatever it might be. Having both sides is definitely a great item to utilize there. So if you have interest in the IMS Wealth Management side, definitely give us a call. I'll be going through all the people that did attend today's meeting, giving everyone that a call that did attend. I can give you some information on that side of the business. I can get your name passed on to Duncan Smith. He's our recruiter on that end, so definitely a great gentleman to talk to on that wealth management side of the business. We also have life and annuity academies. We offer these about once every 3 to 4 months, and then we just had one here about 2 weeks ago in Omaha. We're going to be doing another academy coming up in August, the 20th through the 22nd. It's a great way for you to pick up valuable sales ideas. We have a lot of different speakers that come in, go over some details regarding what's being offered in the field right now for lead production. We have a great panel of agents we bring up, which are multi-million-dollar producers. We do a nice roundtable, bounce questions off them. You can ask them what's been working in the field lately, how you closing more sales, how you getting in front of more clients. They'll go over all those fine details with you. Really a good program we put together here at IMES. I know we've been doing this for over 20 years now, and we really have fine-tuned it, and we have a great presentation. It's about 2.5 days. You'd be in Omaha. You'd come in on a Wednesday afternoon. The meeting would start about 6 o'clock on Wednesday evening, goes all day Thursday, goes till about noon on Friday, and then you'd go back to your current location. We help with your flight cost. We help with your travel. If you're doing business through IMES, we help with all that. And then it's a great way for you to really focus in on the business. And we always see a nice increase in production from the attendees when they go back home. They pull out some of these ideas they learned at the meeting, and are able to use those in the field and really, really maximize, their time spent here in Omaha to get those extra sales you can get in your location there. We'll also have presentations by the IMES Wealth Management team. We'll also have some life insurance presentations, so you get life insurance, annuities, and wealth management all at the same time. So really a well-rounded presentation we put together here for this meeting. We continue to offer our trips. I know this year's trip is to Quebec, 18-month qualification. Qualification actually ends on Monday. We're going to have a great group of agents qualify for this trip. We'll have a new qualification start July the 1st, and that'll run through the end of next year, which will be December of 2026. That'll be another great location that has not been disclosed yet. That should be coming up in the next month or so. We'll have the location for the next trip, but you're going to be staying in a beautiful place here in Quebec, Canada, the Fairmont Hotel in Quebec. Beautiful location there, you can see on the screen here, but I think we're going to have a record-breaking group of individuals qualify for that. Did take 5 million points to qualify for this trip. Really a great combination at this point to meet some of the individuals at IMES that work with you on a daily basis, get to meet some of the other top producers, get some information from them. Really a great trip, and everyone that goes on these trips always has a great time, so definitely worth your while. We have presence on the social media sites, Facebook and LinkedIn. You can see some of the locations there for those sites. If you wanted me to go ahead and email you the links for those, I can go ahead and get that done for you after the meeting. We also have, of course, our toll-free number. You can call it anytime at IMES and be able to get a hold of us at anytime you would like to. And then we have our website, of course, you can get on and link in through that. So I'm going to go ahead and get things moving here. Go ahead and have Andrew Gabriel on here this morning. Glad to have Andrew join us. I'm going to go ahead and make Andrew the presenter here. So you should be up and running. Andrew, did that pop up for you?
Yeah, it sure did.
Yep, you're showing on my screen now, so you are good to go. So Andrew is a internal wholesaler at EquiTrust. He's got lots of great experience in the insurance field and has really specialized with annuities here the last number of years. So you're good to go here, Andrew.
All right. Thank you for having me on today, Matt. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you for everybody attending today that has. And just wanted to come on here today. And Matt, we talked a little bit about what we should go over. And, I think there's a couple things that we do have to offer that maybe a lot of other carriers don't offer. And that would be our partial tax conversion, Roth conversion. And then also we offer accept inherited IRAs. So I'm going to go over the partial tax / Roth conversion here in this first PowerPoint slide, and then we'll go into the inherited IRAs. Partial tax conversion is something that is very unique to EquiTrust, like I said, because a lot of carriers don't offer this, or if they do, they just offer the 10% penalty free, and you can move it into a new product. With us, it's strictly you can move as much as you want with no incurring surrender charges. So kind of to move into that a little bit more here, what you'll see here is, let me try to share my screen again. For some reason, it's not, the slides are not moving there, Matt.
Okay.
Let's see here. Stop sharing. Let's share again. Share screen.
Can we make you the organizer?
Let me see here. One moment. Let's see if that works.
Your initial screen's back on.
Okay. For some reason.
It's not forwarding.
Yeah. Screens. Applications. Sorry for the technical difficulties here.
Yep. Now, is your computer forwarding? It's just not showing up on the screen itself.
Yeah, it's just not showing up. Now,
There we go. It did.
okay. All right, perfect. All
Yep.
right. So partial tax conversion, you can do with many different things with our products. Once again, you can do a traditional IRA and convert it into a Roth IRA. You can do a SEP. You can do a simple IRA into a Roth IRA, or you also, on a partial tax conversion, you can do an inherited IRA to a non-qualified contract. And that's something obviously I can share here too as well in the inherited IRA space. The partial tax conversion obviously is only available on any qualified in-force EquiTrust deferred annuity. As you can see here, why a partial tax conversion? It's just either a systematically converted money over time provides more control when taxes are paid. The owner can pay lesser taxes on the partial tax conversion versus paying the income taxes when using the money down the road for future retirement. And as you can see here, the partial tax conversion is flexible. The flexibility puts the owner in the driver's seat. The owner determines when and how much money can convert and how you can set up conversion on a systematic basis. They can stop or start when they wish. Here's how it can be structured. You can do a one-time partial conversion to a Roth, once again to a SEP, to a simple, or from a SEP or a simple to a Roth. That's what I was trying to say. Or you can do it systematically. So you can do a certain dollar amount. You can do it, by splitting it evenly. However you want to do that. I know a lot of people do dollar amounts just because, like I said, it's something that allows you to control your taxes in each year that you tend to do it. And then obviously you see systematic conversion over a number of years. And then how does the partial tax conversion work on the Roth or non-qualified contract? It mirrors the original contract. The only thing difference is the actual contract number. So the IRA, when you transfer and convert over to a Roth IRA, the Roth IRA will have a different contract number. But as you can see here, it has the same effective date, client roles, agent allocations, credit rates, riders, everything. So as you can see here, money moves from the original contract to mirror the one, and when the value of the original contract is depleted, then the original contract will be closed.
Does the client get one statement, Andrew?
No, they get two statements.
Two statements, okay.
Yep. So that's a nice thing there too. And as far as allocations too, the change of allocations, they will need to change allocations on both if they want to reflect that. So if they say want to change allocations on their IRA for that year, then they would need to change the allocations to the Roth IRA to reflect that. But if they never make any allocation changes, then it just mirrors each other and just continually stays the way it is.
Sure.
As you can see here, why to convert to a Roth IRA, advantages systematically, once again, converting money, ability to do the tax withholding at the one-time conversion. So we can do the tax withholding if you'd like. Once again, your client has more control over the taxes. They pay lesser taxes on the partial conversion versus paying income taxes when you're converting the entire amount. The client determines when or how much you to convert, and then also paying taxes on the partial conversion amounts when your client may be in a lower tax bracket, may offer those tax advantages. Advantages of the Roth IRA. Why would you want to convert from an IRA to a Roth IRA? Once again, we probably all know this, but potential for tax-free growth, tax-free distributions after 59 and a half, there are no RMDs, and non-taxable income for beneficiaries. PTC to Roth conversion considerations. As you can see here, you still got the 5-year rule, conversion rule, or until they're 59 and a half. There is reportable distributions to report, but not taxable, assuming all IRS rules have been met. And then no recharacterization of the conversion from a traditional SEP or simple to a Roth can't be recharacterized. There's no RMD to a conversion to a Roth. It is possible, as you can see, to convert RMDs into a Roth IRA, or it is not possible, excuse me. And then also recommending a tax advisor. When it comes to tax matters like this, we always want to counsel to a tax advisor and begin the conversation that way, because there's a lot of things that we can't say here at EquiTrust that, that tax advisors are definitely, that's their cup of tea and what they're going to know. Here's an example of converting a partial tax to a Roth. It just gives an example of $100,000, interest rate of 3%, a tax bracket. And as you can see, as the money is being switched over, you can see the mirrored contract of the beginning and then the end values of the contract. So it just gives you an example of that. You can see the pre-tax and then after tax as well on why you would do that. There's another example just showing over 10 years, just giving you an example here.
So basically, you're taking the money from a taxable situation to a non-taxable into 10 years. You've paid a bunch in, some in taxes, and then you end up with more than you started with, which is good. And then all that money is going to be tax-free moving forward.
Yeah, and I think too, this shows too the differences between withholding and not withholding, because I think it is advantage to not withhold within your money and take it out of the actual principal. And if you have additional money set aside for an emergency fund, I think that's always key if you can do that, to be able to pay the taxes that way, so that you're not eating into the principal of the
contract.
Yeah,
I always tell people that it's better to have a side bucket of money you pay the taxes with, and that way you're converting a bigger dollar amount, keeping it all in the contract, and that's really going to multiply out in the long run.
Yeah, the power,
Compounding.
Yeah, it's definitely something that, like I said, I mean, if they don't, yeah, that's the beauty of it, is we can withhold the taxes. But if they can, like you said, just recommend that for sure.
Oh yeah,
so,
definitely.
And here's the example of converting the PTC Roth at the end of 10 years. So it just goes to show, the source of contract, you're doing it at the end of 10 years versus doing, over the period of time. So, it just goes to show that, definitely there is a place and time for that, and how much you're saving in taxes and things like that. So it's a powerful picture here. And I think at the end of the day, you just got to get used to doing it, because people, are not used to doing this. They're used to just converting the whole thing. Or, like I said, you could convert over to another carrier, but the problem is you can only go up to 10%, or
Right.
a certain amount depending on what their tax or their penalty-free withdrawal would be.
Sure.
So here's a summary of the taxes of all three examples: the 5-year conversion, 10-year conversion, and then converting it all at the end of the 10th year. And obviously it goes to show less taxes on the 5-year conversion. So just gives you an example there on 100,000.
And plus, if you do the 5-year conversion, you're going to have more time of compounding after that conversion's done.
Right.
Where your money's growing on a tax-free basis with no taxes coming out after that 5th year.
Exactly. So just to get started, I believe Matt probably has these flyers, but I can definitely send them to him. But these are 2 flyers that we have. It's a great flyer, just kind of explains the partial tax conversion, Roth conversion, and then the partial tax conversion, the FAQs. Because
Yep.
there's always
If you can get those
questions
forwarded
that
to me, Andrew,
people.
I'll go ahead and get those forwarded to all the attendees today.
Yep, I can definitely do that. I'll send those over to you. And you can also visit the site there. If you're not appointed with us currently right now, you can go to agents.equitrust.com still and not have to log in and be able to see some of this information. So
Good.
I will switch over now to the Inherited IRA. Give me
Okay.
1 moment. Can you see that?
Yes, I can.
All right, perfect. So, Matt was talking about, once again, the Inherited IRAs being an example of, pre-COVID, it was the normal Inherited IRA, life expectancy, taking the RMDs, of the, whether it was a spouse or non-spouse. And I think, now there's a little more confusion just because you've got post-COVID, post-2020 of, the Secure Act and different rules that are available. And I think sometimes people can get very confused. And that's the nice thing. What we have to offer is that we have a full resource of information from the stretch IRA rules on how to for non-spouse beneficiaries and all of that, and to the spouse beneficiaries rules as well. So does EquiTrust accept new business money for inherited IRAs? Yes, that is correct. So that's the beauty. Like I said, I think there's only about 5 other carriers out there in the industry that do accept inherited IRAs. So we're seeing a large abundance of business coming in from that. Inherited versus stretch. Well, this is kind of our terminology. EquiTrust refers to an IRA passed on to an ineligible beneficiary as an inherited IRA, and an IRA passed on to an eligible beneficiary as a stretch IRA. I know as a whole in the industry, inherited and stretch are the same thing, but this is how we would determine the difference between an ineligible and an eligible beneficiary. The IRS code does not differentiate between these. That's just our lingo that we have here at EquiTrust. Types of beneficiaries: eligible designated beneficiaries, stretch, spouse of deceased IRA owner, a disabled person, chronically ill person, or an individual no more than 10 years younger than the deceased owner. So that's how we classify an eligible designated beneficiary here at EquiTrust. And then the ineligible designated beneficiary, like I said, is inherited, and anyone who doesn't meet the 4 categories above. Here's the Secure Act. Before Secure Act, if the owner of the IRA died prior to January 20th of 2020, a stretch IRA was available for the beneficiary. Like I said, it was they had the life expectancy of the RMDs. Now, in most cases, like you said, this spouse was a non-beneficiary. As a spouse beneficiary would likely do a spousal continuation or spousal IRA. The beneficiaries were required to take distributions from the IRA at a rate based on the beneficiary's single life expectancy, or the IRS chart. And then after the Secure Act, if the owner died or on after July 1st of 2020, the eligible beneficiaries can stretch an IRA no changes were made on that Secure Act. So it would be the same as what it would be prior to 2020 from that standpoint, so that you can take the RMDs as they take them per the IRS chart. But ineligible beneficiaries must pay taxes on all funds in IRAs within 10 years of the original contract's owner's death. Starting in 2023, if the deceased IRA owner had begun requiring them distributions before death, the ineligible as a designated beneficiary must continue to taking the RMDs based upon the longer of the original RMD calculation or beneficiary's single life expectancy. So once again, the ineligible beneficiaries, this has to do with post 2020 for the Secure Act as far as that goes. But the eligible, it didn't change anything. And if the original owner died before January of 2020, once again, the original beneficiary can maintain the stretch status they've already established. The available products that we have available, any of the income rider products, and yeah, you heard that right. I wasn't used to this at other carriers that I've worked at. Inherited IRAs would never work on lifetime income benefit riders, but that is available on our market future and market early. It's on all of our premium bonus products for FIAs. And then as far as inherited IRAs, all EquiTrust products except for confidence income, the market power is now available. So scratch that one out, and bridge. So it's just confidence in income and bridge that you cannot do inherited IRAs on ineligible ones. And then once again, the income benefit riders are available. Here's the great resources. And once again, I can send these off to Matt. Great rules for the inherited IRAs, and then the flyer that shows that kind of the same way with the partial tax conversion. It's got the rules and then FAQs. I'll send these to Matt as well, so that way he has them.
Excellent.
Basically getting started on inherited IRAs starts stretch scale. It's just the application showing the owner entitlement. You see Jane Doe, beneficiary Jimmy Doe, deceased DOD. The annuitant's the actual beneficiary, whether they're eligible or ineligible. This is Section C, tax qualification of inherited/stretch IRA. And then as far as the inherited stretch information, it's based on the date of death of the original owner. Determination between the inherited stretch will be made, or date of death of original owner. As we do the recap here, the date of death, once again, January 20th, determines whether the IRA falls under the pre-Secure Act or the post-Secure Act. For deaths on or after, stretch IRA solutions are available for eligible beneficiaries, and inherited IRA solutions are available for ineligible. And then, once again, why EquiTrust? The clients have the flexibility to decide timing between each conversion with a 10-year period. Once again, ability to transfer an inherited IRA to a bonus fixed index annuity to help offset the taxes, which that is the partial tax conversion I was talking about. If they wanted to, they have an inherited IRA and they wanted to do a partial tax conversion, they can convert that into a non-qualified account. So what that does then is that makes them the sole owner of the contract now, instead of having it as labeled as an inherited IRA. So that's a huge thing in itself too, I think. And then the ability to turn an inherited IRA into a guaranteed income for life on the income rider. We all handle all the tax withholding, like I said before, for a client. And then there's no multiple contracts. All conversions go into the same mirrored contract for enhanced simplicity. That's all I have today. Is there any questions, Matt, that anybody may have, or anything I can answer anybody?
I don't see any questions at this point, but one thing to keep in mind with EquiTrust is, as Andrew did mention, they're one of the very few, if not the only company that offers a bonus on their contract to the client. So when you move this from the deceased owner to a beneficiary, the beneficiary is going to get a nice jump on their value. Say you do with the market power bonus, you got the big 12% bonus rate. That's really going to jump them up in their values, and it's a huge deal for clients. And then taking out their RMDs each year, and at the end of the time period, EquiTrust will automatically convert that to a non-qualified account and then send out a 1099 for the amount they convert at the last year. So that way the client doesn't have to worry about moving the money to another source, another location. EquiTrust is going to be their home, and the money's going to stay there. The money, and it's going to be automatically converted to a non-qualified account, and that way they don't have to worry about moving the money elsewhere and getting involved with all that situation. So super simple and a great way to have the client not have to jump through those extra hoops.
Yeah, no, I agree. And just also real quick here, the 1% commission special is ending here June 30th. There will
Mm-hmm.
be no extension to that. So just to let everybody know, that is till June 30th. You have to have the apps in received by June 30th at 5 p.m. Central Time.
And that's Monday, correct?
That's correct.
Yep. By Monday, you need to have the application in. So I know that was really a huge benefit EquiTrust has had this year with the additional 1% commission. That was been going on since January the 1st, hasn't it?
January the 1st, yeah, we extended it quite a bit, but I think
Right.
they ended it just for the simple fact we've got just to let you know, and we got an email that there's a lot of exciting things coming down the pipeline here in August, early fall for
Good.
products that we have to offer. So it's going to be an exciting time here in the second half of the year.
Definitely. Well, if anybody has any questions, I'll be calling everyone up. I'm glad you could join us today on this Thursday morning. Appreciate your efforts, sir. Andrew, glad to see we got it going this time around on the slides. That's always a benefit.
Yes,
And
it is.
otherwise, yep, everyone have a great week. Enjoy your 4th of July next week. Anything going to end up with here, Andrew?
No, I think that's it, really. That
Okay.
is it.
Well, sounds good. Otherwise, appreciate your time, Andrew, and everyone have a great week.
Thank you. Have a great day,
All right.
Matt.
You too. Bye now.
All right, bye bye.